According to the National Electrical Code, splitting conductor strands to fit them into terminals that are too small is a non-compliant installation. In EC 110.14, B addresses the termination of conductors, stating that conductors shall be terminated in a manner suitable for the conditions of use and location. Crucially, it specifies that conductors and equipment grounding conductors shall be terminated in a manner that the strands are not separated, as in pigtailing. This means that the practice of untwisting the strands of a conductor, such as a 1/0, and separating them into multiple ends to fit into a smaller terminal, such as one designed for a number 4 conductor, is a violation of the code. The intention behind this regulation is to ensure a reliable and secure electrical connection. When conductor strands are separated, the contact area between the conductor and the terminal is reduced. This reduction in contact area increases the resistance at the termination point, leading to several potential problems. Firstly, increased resistance generates heat. The heat is a direct result of the electrical current flowing through a smaller contact area. Over time, this heat can degrade the conductor insulation, the terminal itself, and even surrounding components. In severe cases, overheating can lead to insulation breakdown, arcing, and potentially electrical fires. Secondly, separating the strands compromises the mechanical strength of the connection. A properly terminated conductor maintains its integrity and resistance to vibration, pulling forces, and other mechanical stresses. When strands are separated and forced into a terminal, they are more susceptible to loosening or breaking, which can interrupt the electrical circuit and create a hazardous situation. Thirdly, the practice of pigtailing can affect the overall current carrying capacity of the conductor. The ampacity of a conductor is determined by its size, material, and insulation type. When strands are separated, the effective cross-sectional area of the conductor at the termination point is reduced, potentially limiting the amount of current the connection can safely handle. This can lead to overloading and overheating of the conductor. There is an exception to the rule against pigtailing. This exception applies where a single conductor is connected to multiple terminals, as permitted in 110.3. B. In such cases, the conductor may be spliced to create a pigtail. This exception recognizes that there are legitimate situations where splicing and pigtailing are necessary to make proper connections. However, it is important to note that the splice itself must be made using approved methods and materials, such as wire connectors or crimp-on splices, to ensure a secure and reliable connection. So, what are the proper methods for terminating conductors in situations where the conductor size is larger than the terminal opening? Firstly, use appropriately sized terminals. The most straightforward solution is to use terminals that are specifically designed to accommodate the size of the conductor being used. These terminals are available in various sizes and configurations to fit different types of equipment and applications. Using the correct terminal size ensures a proper fit and maximum contact area, minimizing resistance and heat generation. Secondly, use reducer connectors or adapters. If it is not possible to replace the existing terminals, reducer connectors or adapters can be used to transition from the larger conductor size to the smaller terminal size. These connectors are designed to provide a secure and reliable connection between conductors of different sizes. They typically consist of a metal sleeve or barrel that is crimped or compressed onto the conductors, creating a tight and electrically sound joint. Thirdly, consider using a junction box. In some cases, it may be necessary to install a junction box to provide a point for splicing and terminating conductors. This is particularly useful when dealing with multiple conductors or when the equipment does not have sufficient space for making terminations. Within the junction box, conductors can be spliced using approved methods and terminated on appropriately sized terminals. The junction box provides a protected and organized environment for making electrical connections. Fourthly, consult the equipment manufacturer's instructions. Always refer to the manufacturer's instructions for the specific equipment being installed. The manufacturer may provide specific recommendations or requirements for terminating conductors, including the acceptable range of conductor sizes and types. Following the manufacturer's instructions ensures that the equipment is installed correctly and that the electrical connections are safe and reliable. Fifthly, consider using a qualified electrician. If unsure, always consult with a qualified electrician. Electrical work can be dangerous, and it is important to have the knowledge and experience necessary to perform it safely and correctly. A qualified electrician can assess the situation, determine the best course of action, and ensure that the electrical installation complies with all applicable codes and standards. In summary, splitting conductor strands to fit them into smaller terminals is a non-compliant installation. NEC 110.14 we requires conductors to be terminated without separating strands. There are several alternative methods for terminating conductors in situations where the conductor size is larger than the terminal opening, including using appropriately sized terminals, reducer connectors or adapters, a junction box, and consulting the equipment manufacturer's instructions. When in doubt, always consult with a qualified electrician. Always ensure compliance with the NEC and other applicable codes and standards. Electrical codes and standards are constantly evolving to reflect new technologies, materials, and safety practices. Staying up to date on these changes is essential for ensuring that electrical installations are safe, reliable, and compliant. Consider subscribing to industry publications, attending training courses, and participating in professional organizations to stay informed about the latest developments in the electrical field. Remember that electrical safety is everyone's responsibility. By following proper installation practices, using approved materials and equipment, and staying informed about the latest codes and standards, everyone can help to prevent electrical hazards and ensure a safe and reliable electrical system. Terminations are a critical part of any electrical system, and the integrity of these connections is paramount for ensuring safety and reliability. Improper terminations can lead to a variety of problems, including overheating, arcing, and electrical fires. NEC 110.14 addresses the security of connections, stating that connections shall be made so that the electrical continuity is maintained without the use of solder. This means that connections must be mechanically sound and provide a reliable electrical path. Solder is generally not permitted as the primary means of making an electrical connection because it can weaken over time due to temperature changes and mechanical stress. Instead, connections should be made using approved methods and materials such as wire connectors, crimp-on terminals, or bolted connections. These methods provide a more secure and reliable connection that is less likely to fail over time. NEC 110.14 C addresses the tightness of connections, stating that all wiring connections and terminations shall be tightened by using approved means. This means that connections must be properly tightened to ensure a secure and reliable electrical path. Loose connections can create resistance, leading to heat generation and potential failure. The code requires the use of approved tools and methods for tightening connections, such as torque wrenches or screwdrivers with calibrated torque settings. This ensures that connections are tightened to the proper specification, preventing over-tightening or under-tightening. Over-tightening can damage the conductor or terminal, while under-tightening can result in a loose connection. NEC 110.14 D addresses the identification of terminals, stating that terminals for more than one conductor and terminals used to connect grounding conductors shall be so identified. This means that terminals must be clearly marked to indicate the number of conductors that can be connected to them and whether they are intended for use with grounding conductors. This helps to prevent confusion and ensures that connections are made correctly. For example, terminals that are designed to accept multiple conductors will typically be marked with the number of conductors they can accommodate. Grounding terminals will typically be marked with a green color or a grounding symbol. NEC 110.14 E addresses the splices, stating that conductors shall be spliced or joined with splicing devices identified for the use or by brazing, welding, or soldering with a fusible metal or alloy. Soldering is generally not permitted as the primary means of making an electrical connection. Instead, splices and joints should be made using approved splicing devices, such as wire connectors or crimp-on splices. These devices are designed to provide a secure and reliable connection that is less likely to fail over time. Brazing and welding are permitted for making splices and joints, but they require specialized equipment and expertise. When brazing or welding is used, the connection must be made in accordance with the manufacturer's instructions and must be inspected to ensure that it is sound. In addition to the general requirements for terminations, there are also specific requirements for grounding and bonding. Grounding is the process of connecting electrical equipment to the earth, providing a low impedance path for fault current to flow back to the source. This helps to protect people from electric shock and prevents damage to equipment. Bonding is the process of connecting different metal parts of an electrical system together, creating a common ground potential. This helps to prevent voltage differences between different parts of the system, which can also pose a shock hazard. The NEC contains detailed requirements for grounding and bonding, including the size and type of grounding conductors, the methods for connecting grounding conductors to equipment, and the requirements for grounding electrodes. It is important to follow these requirements carefully to ensure that the electrical system is properly grounded and bonded. Proper grounding and bonding are essential for electrical safety and for preventing damage to equipment. The NEC contains detailed requirements for grounding and bonding, and it is important to follow these requirements carefully to ensure that the electrical system is properly grounded and bonded. Always remember that working with electricity can be dangerous, and it is important to take precautions to protect yourself from electric shock. Before working on any electrical equipment, always turn off the power at the circuit breaker or fuse box. Use insulated tools and wear appropriate personal protective equipment, such as rubber gloves and safety glasses. If unsure about any aspect of the electrical work, consult with a qualified electrician. Staying informed about the latest codes and standards is also essential for ensuring electrical safety. The NEC is updated every 3 years, and it is important to stay up to date on the latest changes. Consider subscribing to industry publications, attending training courses, and participating in professional organizations to stay informed about the latest developments in the electrical field. By following proper installation practices, using approved materials and equipment, staying informed about the latest codes and standards, and taking precautions to protect yourself from electric shock, everyone can help to ensure a safe and reliable electrical system.